Hello, everyone. A
Hello.
very good afternoon, Bhavya Mangla, and we welcome you to Unfiltered Conversations. Now, Unfiltered Conversation is a series started on Bhavya Mangla's YouTube channel just to bring in the topics that we may know but don't talk about or don't live with. Very genuine topics in our day to day lives. And right now, the series that is going on is something that we all should live with, but sometimes we forget living this materialistic life, and which is mindfulness. This is episode 9 of Unfiltered Conversation series Mindfulness. And today we have a very special guest who is a business consultant, a budding writer who has written some beautiful articles on self love, and also as someone who is always curious about life and live her life to the fullest. She is none other than Tanvi Swami. So, we welcome, along with Bhavya Mangla, Tanvi Swami to Unfiltered Conversation. Welcome, Tanvi.
Hi, Tanvi.
Hi Shweta. Hi Bhavya. Thank you for your liberal compliments. That was a good way to introduce me. Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Thank you, Tanvi, for giving your valuable time. Bhavya Mangla, would you like to give any anecdote on our unfiltered conversation?
I think, Shweta, the key objective when we thought about this particular series about unfiltered conversation is that at times it happens that we talk something very good, very productive, but we generally don't record and we don't keep it for a long time. And I have many times felt that why not record something which we are discussing with someone which can be useful for other people also. And when we are talking without any specific purpose or specific objective, then we are very candid, just like we are talking about the candid photos. So I
Yeah.
think this is that series where the objective is that how we can be candid, how we can be ourselves, so that we can talk something which can be useful not only for us but the people who are listening to it.
Thank you. And that is what exactly we are doing. What we are discussing in the rooms,
Yeah.
unfiltered, we are bringing it on Bhavya Mangla's YouTube channel. We hope that it would be benefited to many people, whoever will be watching this video. So, Tanvi, first of all, very warm welcome to Unfiltered Conversations. What did you thought of when you heard that you are going to be live on Unfiltered Conversation? What was your first thought?
I think the very first word that came to my mind when I heard unfiltered was candid. Like Bhavya mentioned right now, that it's going to be an informal, candid conversation where you're speaking from your heart. Uh, it relieves you of the pressure that you need to prepare something to be live, and because that in a way negate the purpose. We are here for unfiltered conversations, so just speaking out the heart and whatever we feel. So that is the first thing that came to my mind.
Thank you, Tanvi. So, Tanvi, I've read your article, Self Love. Is it a concept for real? And a very amazing, I would say, quote you have written. Even when blonde surrounds completely and leaves decay to fall down everywhere, still you got to spot that somewhere, which exhibits exception with blooming flowers. I know many of the audiences who must be watching will not get this. And we would like to know how you can connect this and what was your idea of using this quote behind your self-love article.
Amazing. Thank you for the question. I think it's a good way to start the conversation. So I'll give you a little story why I wrote this and what I mean by it. So many a times, in life, we are going through a lot of things. All of us are going through a lot of things happening with us, with a lot of externalities involved, and there's stress. But still, in middle of that chaos, we need to find some place, something which makes us feel good. So, how I relate it to self love now, I think in life, the most important thing for me is hope and self love. As much as I practice it increases my hope even in middle of a lot of chaos. So it's like a way of saying that, let's say I'm having a bad day at work or at home. So if I love myself enough, I'm not going to judge myself for that one particular bad day, and will be hopeful that there's going to be better tomorrow and a wonderful day after tomorrow. So that's how I relate it with self-love.
Tanvi, do you watch movies?
Yes,
In India, generally, we all are fond of movies. Have you
right.
seen the movie Jab We Met?
Yes, Geet's character, of course.
Yes. So, don't you think what we are talking of is something related to that character Geet?
Absolutely. I love the character, and it's like a benchmark where you should reach in terms of self love. Very bubbly character. And yes, I agree. Whatever I'm saying relates to it.
And what do you
So
like most about that character?
The openness with which she accepted herself. She said one dialogue. I saw the movie recently. I keep rewatching it. That
Hmm.
in life we don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. So why not we do something we feel is right for us today, so that tomorrow if things go south, we don't blame anybody else. She said it in Hindi, so that was more impactful, but that really stayed with me. So self love gives you that compassion, that empathy, that faith in yourself. And that's how you make decisions and be yourself. Truly.
Shweta, do you agree with this? Or you have some different opinion about it?
actually, sir, I have been called by my friends Geet only that I am that person. So I have to agree to that because I love that character. So I think on the spot, what she used to do is what I am also, sir. Like if I have to do something right now, I'll do
Yeah.
right away. I'll not think about it because life is once. So like I would say, Bhavya, that once we are just moving in life, we should flow, and that's what Geet's character said in the beginning. But sir, there is also a opposite side to it,
Yep.
which happens in the second part of the movie,
Yep.
and that is something which can be taken care of with self love. I think Tanvi can tell more about it, what she thinks can be done when that second part of the movie comes around. What is self love there? As Bhavya also said, that that movie is a benchmark, that when we think of self love, uh, that movie seems to be the benchmark, and I agree because Geet's character shows self love. But Tanvi, you will also agree the second part of the movie is completely opposite. What is that self love component that you will say will help her to remain what was the first part of the movie?
Amazing. Like you said it right, Shweta. There are two parts to it. Number one, where she's completely immersed in happiness. Number two, when she's doubting herself. And that is the true portray of self-love. Usually, there's a myth around that people who love themselves, they love themselves every day. According to me, every day is not same. Even for people like us, all of us who love ourselves, there are days where it gets harder. But what self love does to you in a different way is gives you that hope to bounce back. That's what she did by in the end of the movie, where she did listen to her heart and she took the decision and she bounced back just with a little reassurance. I think that becomes easier when you truly value and love yourself. So absolutely. You recall me, you helped me recall that movie. I think I'm going to watch it again in 1, 2 days. I feel like doing so.
So, Tanvi, I have known you like obviously since like 4, 5 years, but I feel like I have known you since forever. That's our bond. But I always call her champion just for the people to know. I want to know that what does this champion word means to you, and was this self love the main component that actually made you the champion that you are?
I think what I think about myself is it has also come with self love, is humility. So I would say that I am pretty extra. I'm pretty ordinary. One thing that makes me extraordinary, and Shweta, you would agree, is I put in a conscious effort to improve myself and to get to this part where you value yourself and you learn things about yourself, unlearn and love yourself. So that little twist where I've put in the effort, I think would mean champion to me. Otherwise, you will tell why you call me champion. That's how I see the term.
Uh, Tanvi, recently I'm reading a book which is autobiography of Usain Bolt. So there he's talking about this particular concept that earlier, whenever he was running for the country. But later on, he realized that when he's doing it only for the country, at that time, the problem was that in case he's not performing well, so at that time, everyone is hooting him. And then that depresses him a lot. Then he decided that I will do it everything for myself. Certainly, it is for the country, but first I will come, and then the country will come. So, what is your opinion with respect to this concept when we talk about self love? Is it that we need to keep ourselves first, or we always have to think other people first? What is your opinion about it?
This reminds me of a very good analogy that we hear when we are flying. We are in flights. So they always tell us that, you have to wear your oxygen mask first before you can help out somebody else. Self love is exactly that. Let's say if there's nothing in my cup or my glass, I'll not be able to share it with anybody else. So I have to fill myself first so that I become available and be present for anybody else. So I think that is exactly what the book is, was telling you, that firstly you'll have to think about yourself. You have to take care of yourself, and then you can contribute better to anybody, whether a person or a country. So self love really helps you do that.
But Shweta, don't you think it is considered to be selfishness also? What is your opinion about it?
Sir, I'm sorry, Bhavya. Actually, I'm so used to calling Bhavya sir that it only comes out the first thing. So, Bhavya, the point is, I think selfishness happens when you are just doing it for some benefits, not for the sake of having that peace and humility and kindness to yourself. There's a difference. When we are seeking benefits out of that self love, then that becomes ego, pride. That is what comes in with that. But when we do it with the hope of having peace, humility, and kindness to ourselves, that is different. And that is what happens when we are doing it for ourselves with the self love of gratitude, self love of humility, self love of kindness, and self love of peace. Because once that goes in, ego and pride, phew, it goes away. So that is what my scenario would be. Because at the end of the day, Bhavya, what happens? We talk so much,
Yeah,
but when it is coming to practicality, it is very important to practice and implement that to ourselves. Once that happens, no, everybody coming around or into your circle will feel that as well and will start doing that as well. Because they will say, oh, this person is not just talking, they are actually implementing, and we can see that in them.
yeah.
Because I think the humility, kindness, and peace and gratitude forms a very beautiful aura. Don't you think so, Bhavya? I mean, you have written a book as well. So, what is your take on that?
I think what you're saying is absolutely truth. That many times it happens that we are doing so many things for others that while doing that we forget ourselves, and when we forget ourselves, we don't realize it that at what cost we are doing it, and then at times it puts us into a problem, and then we keep on thinking that whatever I'm doing it, is it I'm doing it because I'm enjoying it, or I'm just doing it because now it has become sort of a responsibility for me, and I don't have any choice in case even if I have to say no, whether I can say it or not. And then it becomes a trap. Then rather than doing it with honesty, rather than doing it with fun and enjoyment, you are just doing it for the sake of it. Tanvi, what is your opinion about it? What do you think about it? That in case we don't do things for ourselves but always for others, does it create some problem? Maybe health issue, maybe some mental issue, maybe something else that can happen, like panic attack or something like that.
Amazing question. This again takes me back to my article, that the theme of the article is self love. Is that a concept for real? So this is also a little saddening fact that we as a society, we think that somebody, if they're practicing self love, it's towards selfishness. And here I've given an example. Let's say there are two people, person A and person B. Person A requires some is going through something and is really anxious, and person B is also going through something, maybe not of the same wavelength, but something. Then person A approaches B that can you help me? So as a society, we think that person B should be there for A, but nobody questions at what cost. Maybe if the second person is available for person A, his or her mental health would deteriorate further, or then he or she would go through something in future. So that's one aspect. Other is when the other person is going through something, they would not be able to be present for person A completely. So that's where this question comes into play, where you become more empathetic, and you can tell in a kind of way that I'm there for you, but I'm going through something, and let's catch up when I'm in myself. And if that person is practicing self love, the first person, he or she would understand that's the magic of it. So let's say when I practice and somebody is telling me I don't have the mental or emotional bandwidth to take this, I absolutely understand that. And in fact, to me, it doesn't come across as selfishness. It is something like, okay, this person is going through something, it's fine. We'll do it later. You please take care. So there are two sides to it. When you do it, you're doing it for yourself also, and you become more empathetic towards others also. Okay, let's be more kind, and let's understand. So it's a win-win situation holistically. There's other thing that I want to add. Um, Often, especially the Gen Zs and millennials, the generation, my generation, we sometimes confuse self love with having junk food, having fries, having drinks, pampering ourselves. But the reality is, the journey is much more deeper, and there are very sad and bad days also. So there's also here also I have an anecdote, or maybe an analogy. So let's say if I practice self love and there's a candy, and I love the candy, but I know it's not good for my stomach, it's going to create some stomach issues to me, let's say in 2 days. So self love gives you that, that clarity of mind and that decision making ability to say no to it today. We will look at long term things that, I'm not going to put myself into this discomfort because I respect myself and I deserve better, and I'll say no to it. Making that decision is hard. I might as well be sad, let's say for 1 hour or 2 hours, but I'm okay to go through it because I value myself. And I'm not going to put myself in the discomfort. So that's also the other aspect to it when you really get into it, the journey.
Tanvi, as we are doing it live and many people are watching it, so I just seen one question coming out from Himanshu Joshi, and he has a very interesting question that why it happens that we start thinking about self love quite late in life after we had some challenge in life, and then we realize that. So why it is that we realize it quite late, and what we can do so that we can start having this feeling quite early wherever we are, rather than waiting for something to happen wrong and then we think about it.
It's a great question, actually, and it's really true. Even in my case, if I look back, it wasn't in the good times that I thought that, I should practice self love today. I was going through something, and then I realized, oh my God, I don't value myself. Why am I putting myself in such a bad situation? And I need to work on myself. And how do we do it? So there are again two aspects to it. The way I see it is, it's never too late to start your self love journey, whether you're 20, 40, 60, or 70. Because I don't see a bad side to it, con side to it. You can start today. And I'm using the word journey again and again because I want to emphasize on the fact that it's not a destination for either of us. It is a journey. There are days when we think, okay, we are learning, we are unlearning things about us. There are good days, there are bad days. We're just coping. So once you get to the journey of this self love, you just start processing and managing your things better, your emotions better. Coming to the question, how do we start it? If somebody were to ask me, I think this should be an integral topic in school, if I were to say, or kids should be taught about it. That how to value yourself, how to see yourself, how to see what is self-image, how to improve your self-image. A lot of topics, very depth topic But that's how I see it, that we need to talk more about it to start early.
Mm, wonderful. Shweta, uh,
Yeah, yeah, Bhavya.
another thing I think which is more important, we generally think, which again is coming from one of the person who is listening on live, is that can we strike a balance between self-love and loving others rather than thinking that no, only we have to keep ourselves first and keep others? Can there be a balance that we can strike, that we take care of ourselves and then parallelly we also take care of other people?
Yes, it is possible, Bhavya, and it's a very important question to be addressed actually, because self-love is, as Tanvi has beautifully already explained the criteria of the self-love, and it's a journey. uh, I would say, I think everybody has their own journey. It's not important that something has to happen, then only you start self love, first of all. For me, I have this self love since I was a kid, I would say. So it was because of the surroundings as well. Now, here I would like to also say it also happens due to your surroundings. How much of the that kind of freedom, openness, and what kind of educational backgrounds and everything they are coming from.
Yeah.
But then, as Tanvi also said, there is no point where you should start it. You can start anywhere. No, loving others. I said that even before, two episodes before also. When your glass will be full, then only you will be able to give up. So, if my glass is full of love, again, don't take self love as the pride of love. I is nothing. Self love is what you are actually. Love is the main component of humanity, according to me. So when we say that self love, then it is not possible only, Bhavya, that you will not be able to love others. And actually, you will not see them, how much successful they are, what kind of job they are doing. So all those criteria will not come in between. You just love them as a human, whether they are crippled, whether they are anything. All this we are adding to them as a society. Otherwise, at the end of the day, it becomes a soul that is wearing that cloth of the body. So I think when I'm full of that self love, of empathy, of gratitude, of peace, of kindness, it is not possible only that I will not be able to love others. I
Yeah.
will love Bhavya as much as I will love Tanvi, as much as I will meet anyone on the metro. So that is what, it's very easy to have that balance when that love becomes so.
Hmm. Wonderful. So, Tanvi, we talked about self love, we talked about its importance, we talked about we have to love ourselves first. But then, how to initiate this journey? What to do? What can be the baby steps that maybe I need to take, or maybe Shweta need to take, or maybe anyone else who's listening to this podcast need to take? Can you share something about that?
Thank you for that question, Bhavya. I think it's one of the most imperative questions. We talk a lot about self love, but there is less talked about how do we start it. So I wrote a piece recently where I could, just jot down in the process of starting self love into three steps. I call it three A's. So number one thing that you have to do is sit with yourself, um, acknowledge, just gain acquaintance with yourself. And when I say yourself, all of us, we have a bright side when we are facing the sun, like in case of camera, and we have shadow sides, which are not that brighter, and the downside of all of us. Acquaint yourself with all your sides. Get to know yourself. Who are you? How do you think? What are the parts you like about yourself? What are the parts you don't like about yourself? And it's in entirety, like physically, mentally, emotionally. What are your sad emotions? Are you jealous? Are you feeling sad? Are you happy? Acquaint yourself. That's number one A. Number two is, once you start doing it, accept yourself, and it will come organically. Like I saw in my case, let's say there's a new actor or actress in the market and in Bollywood. The first time we see them, we as humans, we restrain change. We don't accept those characters immediately, but as soon as we see them more and more and more movies, we start accepting them. It comes organically to us. Exactly the way. Do it with yourself. Sit with yourself, and you will see in some time. First time you see yourself, you'll be like, oh my god, I can't do this. Second time it's going to get better. Third, fourth time you start accepting yourself. I'm not that bad. Okay, I'm fine. And then the third thing where the magic starts happening. Appreciate yourself. I know there's a lot in the market that people say narcissist behavior, you're appreciating yourself. But if I'm not cheerleading for myself and expecting others to do it, why should I do it? At least I can be humble and praise myself when I feel good, and
Yeah.
not in boastful way like Shweta said, but maybe in a good way, just to make myself feel better. So those are the three A's: acquaint with yourself, accept yourself, and appreciate yourself. And then it's a journey. You will see magic happening in external world after that.
Wonderful.
Beautiful name.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Bhavya, you were saying no something?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, such an amazing thing she talked about it. She talked about the power of three A's. And if we can implement all those three things, then how life can become very easy. Because, at times what happens that these days, especially we're talking about that person was very healthy, going to the gym, maintaining sound health, and suddenly something happened, and then, that person had a heart attack. But nobody thinks about it that the food is good, the quality of life is good, maybe the health is good, everything is perfect. But then what about this? What we are thinking about it? What is in our mind? And the day we start focusing on that thing more, because we are focusing more on physical health and very less on our mental or emotional health, I think that can be a trigger about that. Then what are your thoughts about it? Because I think you're writing a lot about this thing.
Yes, about mindfulness and mental health. If I talk about my personal story, then writing has been my medium. It's like expression. It's like
Mhm.
therapy for me. So as a kid, I was, if I have to be honest, I was a meek kid. Somebody who knew answers but would never raise their hand because I thought that I might look stupid. And in hindsight, I saw that I had a lot of emotions in me because I was not expressing it. I'm also empathetic, so I feel a lot, but not expressing it. So that's how I started writing, and that became a medium. So very sweet thing I used to do as a kid. I used to write letters to God, about my sad days. That why did this happen? Why did that happen? Later, when I started doing it and did it for 2 3 years, I realized I can also do it for good days. That's how my writing journey started. So it's an expression for me. When it comes to mental health, it gives me clarity because everything comes out, and it gives me an opportunity to know myself. That what am I feeling? So you acquaint and you acknowledge your emotions. So that has played a wonderful role in my mental health. You can call it journaling also, but
Mhm.
I agree it's very important, and everybody should find their medium. Balancing it for themselves.
Wonderful. Shweta, any final thoughts before we summarize it?
Yeah, actually, Bhavya, when you were asking this question that time, I was just thinking that it's such an important question. And I really wanted to add this only that people are so worried of showing emotions, Bhavya, that oh my god, I because of the societal pressures or how the society see you as a man or a woman or whatever. No, I can't cry here. No, this is not meant for me. This is not how a man should behave. And all those kind of restrictions we give to ourselves, those emotional build-up happens, and then we
Yeah.
ask, how come such a young person had a heart attack?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you only gave it because you gave him those societal restrictions.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
very important to open up. And as Tanvi beautifully said, everybody has a medium, Bhavya. Either I would say journaling is so important for the people who are either ambiverts or introverts. It is, I would say, a necessity because they have to take out their emotions or whatever is going on inside them. So I would urge everyone, whether it is journaling, whether poetry, whether music, dance, meditation, or anything, take that and you will see self love happening automatically. As Tanvi's article 3 A's start with that. It is very important.
Wonderful. Tanvi, anything to add before we close?
I think I'll just be a propagator of self love only for everybody watching this. Thank you for being here. And I would like to encourage everybody to start their journey. You will see the magic happening right after that. And sit with yourself, know your beautiful selves, love yourself. You deserve your love before anybody else's. And you're enough for yourself. You'll realize when you get into the journey. All the very best. And thank you again.
Thank you, Tanvi. Thank you, Shweta. I think it has been an excellent session wherein we talked about something which we generally we don't talk about it. We are always talking about how we can support others, how we can help others, how we can make other people happy. But in that, we don't realize that the most important person is me. Unless and until I'm taking care about myself, I can't take care about others. I'm sure that in our upcoming episodes, we are going to talk more about all those things, that how we can be mindful so that we not only we enjoy the life, but other people can enjoy life because of us. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye bye.